Okay. Oh, no, I buried all the ones that I wanted at the top. Okay. Hi, Jay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let me turn on live chat. Live chat, perfect. Okay. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Jackie. Myra, Darian, Debbie, Selkie. Hi, Minky. Hi. Hi, Silver Willow. Okay. Well, Chattermancer, hello. Putting on the glitz. Hi, Marin. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. And I didn't light incense again. Whoops. Hi, Serrana, Erica, Thomas. Hi. McGartland, hello. Erica, Misty, Angela, Tiffany. I'm ready to be educated. All right. Yes, we are going to talk about the FAE. So I figured we'd start because I'm trying to reach my garbage. Hold on. Okay. I figured I'd start with kind of a basic FAE 101 kind of thing because couldn't figure out why there was a man on the screen. Don't you love it? It's almost over, guys. It's almost over. Mercury in retrograde is almost over. Because Beltane is like the biggest time for the Fae and the beginning of when you really can connect with them. They're really out more in the light half of the year. So it's a good time to start learning how to connect and learning, how not to offend and that kind of stuff. The only problem I have with this incense thing is that the holes are really little. So I burned myself twice on this trying to get them on. Fae aren't my thing, but they're cool. That's okay. And, some people do not work with the Fae, and that's fine. No problem. Not a biggie. And you don't have to work with them. You should at least know, though, if you are a person who isn't real big on the Fae and stuff, you should at least have an idea of how not to offend them in case, like, you don't want to purposely offend the Fae. So, all right. Who else? Witchy Woo is here. Hello. Hi, Justin. I'm Margot. Okay, Margot. Hello. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you in here before, at least on a live. Mercury and Gatorade. I know. 3 days left. We're almost there, guys. We really are. Just hang on. It's starting. That energy is starting to fade a little bit. So hopefully we all just make it. I've got my maple done. Just need ribbon. Awesome. Love the Fae. I swear I have Fae connections. Have tattoos. 3 of them are Fae. Awesome. Awesome. I think I've seen one of those, Ange, but why can't I see anything? I don't know. Why can't you see anything? That's a hard question to answer on this end. I always ask to be educated kindly. If I do something wrong, I want to work it out with them. Perfect. It is perfect. At the very least, you need to show them respect, right? So, love the witch that's over your shoulder. This one, I do too. He's so cute. No, I mean the screen is black. Oh. I don't know, honey. Yeah, I would try to refresh the page. What else? It's not black for everyone else. So I'm not sure on your end what's going on, but it sounds like it's not on this end. Yeah, I would try closing out and coming back in. I have a fairy circle of fungus in my garden. Yay. You want to remove it, but don't want to face any wrath. Ooh, that's a good question. Hexen? Damn it, man. Yeah, you shouldn't purposely offend any spirit, especially some if you do get ready to get smacked around. Yep, that's true. Well, you know, there's at least one here really into the Fae. I at least used to have an elven guide. Awesome. Not sure what happened to them, though, whether they're still around. Awesome. Okay, so let's start by kind of defining what the Fae is. Because my definition of the Fae may be different from other people's definitions. I was talking to the admin group before I came on tonight, and I said I had no idea until I started to pull all my Fae books, how many books I have that are either all about the Fae or have stuff in them about the Fae. It doesn't truly surprise me when I think about it because, hi Tyler, because my background is very Celtic. And so when I started in my pagan path, I kind of really went down the Celtic path for a long time. You saw Winter Fairy from my bathroom window. Awesome. She looked like she had a dandelion fluff for a dress, and she kind of stopped for a split second, looked at me, and flew off in a different direction. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. We'll talk about some ways to see them and that kind of thing. But so it kind of started becoming more, people became more aware of the Fae through Celtic tradition and folklore. And there's lots and lots and lots of Celtic folklore about the Fae. And I know we were talking about the other night, and I'm going to try not to get into it because that's a little bit more in-depth kind of stuff, the differences between the historical folkloric references and like the fictional fairy tale kind of stuff. I will get into that, but I wanted to start with kind of a beginning fairy 101 kind of thing. My hands need to be busy, but my ears are here. No problem. That's okay. Jen, do cultures outside of Celtic call Fae by different names? Yes, they do. Absolutely, they do. So that's part of, let me get to a couple different definitions, okay? So I have, what I realized is I have 21 different books that either are all about the Fae, have Fae in them, or have sections of the book about Fae. So I have a pretty big reference library in front of me regarding the Fae stuff. So hopefully, you know, we can kind of answer as many questions as we can. The only thing I'm not going to get into again is the kind of debate and culture and stuff over what's fiction versus what is folklore, and therefore, you know, I will put into the realm of what I think is real for Fae. So this book, I'm going to start with this one. This is called Celtic Traditions. It's Druids, Fairies, and Wiccan Rituals, and this is by Serona Knight. And she has a pretty good base of what, like how to start dealing with Fae and how do you know what Fae is. So I'm going to start by reading her definitions here of where this all came from. So it says in every culture, so again, yes, in every culture there are stories of magical and mythical beings that are just outside of the veil. And they call them different things. The Celtics are really the ones that kind of started with the Fae and fairy. Natural or magical abilities and share human characteristics, beings that can greatly influence the daily lives of mortals. I spoke with a native lady that said they are known as gnomes, Fae, little people, and that all native tribes have beliefs. Absolutely, for sure. Dwelling on earth in close contact with mortals, generally such fairies are invisible, sometimes helpful and benevolent, occasionally dangerous and frightening, and other times playful and mischievous. Now, also, I'm going to tell you that not everyone does this spelling thing, but I know I've talked before about my definitions of magic. And when I'm talking about magic with a K, to me, that is the workings that I do and connecting with my spirituality is magic with a K. Magic without a K, M-A-G-I-C, to me is like a magician standing in front doing card tricks and pulling a rabbit out of a hat and that kind of magic. So I also do something similar with fairies. So when I am talking about the FAE, fairies, I talk about FAERIE, correct, versus FAIRY to me are like Tinkerbell and fictional stories for children. And there's some for adults now too. Apparently in YA, in youth, young adult novels and stuff, there's all kinds of new fictional stories coming out about fairies, which is FAIRY, right? Yes. Not everybody does that. A lot of people intertwine the two spellings. I try that for me because, for one thing, my ADD brain wants to separate that out. So in order for me to not just remember, but for me to differentiate between the two, I spell them differently. A lot of people do spell them differently like that. Some people don't. So it can be confusing. You just have to be aware of what kind of book you're looking at. Are you looking at a fictional book? Or are you looking at a book that's talking about folklore, which is possible that it's either? Or are you looking at like a historical accurate accounting? And, then we can also go into what's a historical accurate accounting, because my accounting of connecting with a spirit may talk a lot about what that spirit looked like, what that spirit said to me, and it would be a different kind of thing. Like I did not hear spirit, but so the same kind of, you have to kind of let yourself go down the rabbit hole. Alice down the rabbit hole. Hello. And hello, Pagan Green. You have to kind of let yourself go down that rabbit hole to understand that people connect with things differently. So, some people can see that Fae energy. I have seen before a Fae or two. I haven't seen a whole lot. I have seen evidence of Fae. But again, sometimes you're looking with different eyes. Sometimes you're connecting on a different level. So I want to say that right off the bat. So that people don't, some people are like, really, you really believe in fairies? Like Tinkerbell and that's a different thing. Okay. Like them taking things? Yes. Like them taking things for sure. Yes. Okay. In fact, most of the stories about the fairy are actually traditions that relate real beliefs of the people, and hidden within the tales are the many key elements of ancient mystery traditions. The etymology, meaning the root of the word fairy, F-A-E-R-Y or F-A-E-R-I-E. I've heard that fairies that we know about through fantasy is only one type, a misunderstood type for sure, but I think that it's just one type of many. Absolutely, for sure. Moving things, yes. Fae can be mischievous, ill spirits. Absolutely. So the etymology, yes. Right. A few days, good for you. I've had Fae take things for years, and then suddenly they reappear. Okay. The etymology, the root of the actual word fairy, is Middle French, from the Old French word fée, F-E-E, also spelled F-E-I-E, which stems from the Latin fata, the goddess of fate, and from the Latin fatum, meaning fate. In Middle English, fairy, F-A-E-R-Y, or fae, had three meanings. 1, enchantment. 2, a land where enchanted beings lived. Or 3, the group of inhabitants of such a place. Okay? So, enchantment, land where enchanted beings lived, or the inhabitants of that place. The current definition of fairy is a mythical being of folklore and romance with human form and magical powers. Okay? So that can encompass a whole lot of things, right? The Irish word for fairy is sidhig, or little fairy, from the word see or she as in banshee. The word sidh is the Celtic root for a blast of wind. For people of the people of the mountains, the fairies ride their milk white fairy horses and are accompanied by their fairy hounds. The fairy folk are the gentry, famous for the music that lures mortals out of this world. The fairy mist, whirling winds, a fairy sleep from which you cannot awake until the appointed time, and fairy stroke or elf shot. So there's lots of different spellings, and the root of those spellings, most of them come from the Celtic tradition. Some from French, Old French, Middle English, Celt. So they go through all kinds of, where's my okay. Nope. Hold on, so long ago in a land far away, I was first, thank you, this is from Wendy, who is a part of our group, and Ella Bray, and has a YouTube channel, and she sells on Etsy now. So my first introduction to FAE, outside of being a little girl, and yes, Wendy, outside of being a little girl and dealing with Tinkerbell and all that kind of stuff, is from W.B. Yeats, who was a very famous poet, who was in the 1800s, and like half of his poetry was about the Fae. And they are gorgeous, gorgeous poems. And the first one, I believe, which I'm just going to read a little bit of, if I can find it here. The first one that I ran into, hang on. I brought the wrong book up. Hold on, because this one also has not just WB, but has other authors in here too. But W.B. Yeats has some of the most famous poems on Fae, and where he talks about, waking up in a different land. Oh, come on. Damn it. I thought I had it. The leprechaun or fairy shoemaker. That's a really, he is an authority on the folklore. That's a really famous poem. Darn it. Hold on. I have way too many books, guys, on this stuff. And I thought I had marked it off, but maybe not. So here, this is going to be quicker. I hate to do that because I love my books, but yes, he did. He wrote a whole bunch on fairies. Hold on. W.B. Yeats. Fairy. Okay. So hopefully his most famous one that I read originally. To some I have talked with by the fire. While I wrought out these fitful Donnan rhymes, my heart would brim with dreams about the times when we bent down above the fading coals and talked of the dark folk who live in souls, of passionate men like bats in the dead trees, and of the wayward twilight companies who sigh with mingled sorrow and content because their blossoming dreams have never bent under the fruit of evil and of good and of embattled flaming multitude who rise wing above wing, flame above flame, and like the storm cry the ineffable name. The clashing of their sword blades make a rapturous music till the morning break, and the white hush end all but the loud beat of their long wings, the flash of their white feet. So there's all kinds of he has poems upon poems upon poems. I have like 3 books of his that he have tons of poems about the Fae. So we're just kind of back up and talk about the definitions. As far as I'm concerned, is any mythical creature that lives just beyond the veil. Not one that had lived in our existence. So not ancestors, not people who have died and crossed over. We're talking about people whose realm is just across the veil. Okay. So that includes a whole bunch of things, guys. It includes gnomes. It includes she. It includes fae. It includes, I mean, there are. So I did bring this book out because this book is really good. Yep, some people claim to be fairy kin. Absolutely. And one of the things that is in the mythology. Hi, Jen. How are you? Is that the Fae used to, they called them changeling babies. So when the Fae had children that were not doing very well and were sickly, they would trade them out for human children so that humans thought that their baby got sick and died, and the fairies would steal the healthy human babies to take and raise as fae in their realm. So you'll see TV shows and a lot of the, I don't know, like I think Grimm might have done something about it. Outlander talked about it in Outlander. A lot of the TV shows that kind of talk about stuff that is just outside yes, a changeling, exactly. That talk about stuff that is just outside of the realm of, normal or what other people call normal. A lot of that kind of show, they will talk about that. I'm pretty sure like Supernatural, I think they talked about it in Supernatural. There are almost too many to name. I mean, there is tons and tons and tons and tons of different kinds of fae. Beltane and Samhain, exactly, is when the veils are the thinnest. And I really feel like there's a difference between the veils. I don't know for sure. I have not done like scientific, stuff or anything. But I will say that I do feel like it's almost like there's 2 different veils. Because it's Samhain, yes, you can have more interactions with the Fae than you would at, in the dead of winter. But you will have more interaction with your ancestors and with spirit who has crossed over than you will with the Fae at Samhain. More times, 9 times out of 10. At Beltane, I find way more interaction with the Fae and those creatures who are just kind of lying there. So I almost feel like it's 2 different veils, or it's maybe, the Fae are allowed to come closer at Beltane because they don't like the cold, or they, that kind of thing. I really feel like there is a different veil, or it's a different realm that you're closer to. The veil will be at the thinnest on Beltane. At Beltane, it seems to be thinnest with the fairies versus, yes, exactly. Yes, yes, yes. I agree. I've heard some African witches claim that the thin veil is nonsense and they've never experienced anything like that, and that spirit is there all the time. And that's okay. Like I said, if it works for you, it works. That has not been my experience. I have definitely, it's from Beltane till Midsummer. That it's thin. It is the thinnest at Beltane. But the lighter half of the year, you have an easier time interacting with the Fae than you do the darker half of the year. Yeah, I hear you. I know, me too. Although they did touch on, the statement was, I was unimpressed with the fairy portrayal in the Sookie Stackhouse novels. I do love the books, though, absolutely. And again, that's kind of a fiction versus folklore thing. They do, the good thing when they talk about stuff like that is they do kind of touch on some of the folklore aspect of it. Like they talked about how time was wonky. When you are taken over, if the Fae steal you, if you fall asleep and the Fae steal you and bring you over, the folklore talks about time being a different thing. That you think you've only been there for a day and you come back and it's been years on this side of the veil. They also talk about how you should never eat anything that the Fae leave for you or give you. And that's because it will start to make your memory fade of our world so that you don't want to come back from the fairy world. And that comes from the folklore. There is lots of folklore about not eating anything from the Fae, and about the time difference thing, about when you are taken over across the veil with the fairies, that things go very, very slowly compared to what they do on this side. That's true. Traditions are definitely different in Africa. Well, at least West Africa, which is my experience. Witches are very evil in most of West Africa. Really? No kidding. I've heard that from Samhain to Yule, it's thin. So perhaps it's the same from Beltane until Litha. Yeah, and that could be. Like I said, there's something about Beltane that has always been like a magical day for the Fae, though. That specific day, there is a lot of folklore tradition about May 1st, May Day, Beltane, that the Fae specifically seek things out. And so you have to be careful. Okay. So we've kind of covered a little bit there. I can't tell you guys, we could spend a whole, a huge series on the Fae because it's such a huge topic that encompasses a ton of information. Yeah, lifetime. That it's hard to share. Like I said, all right, almost a half an hour. That's really not bad. I have to remember that is better than we have been doing. A half an hour in before I even... Okay. Jen, my experience is that there are creatures called shabagas, and they are shapeshifters from owl to witch. That is cool. Can sensory deprivation tanks get you closer to the connecting with things beyond the veil? I've heard that. I don't know. I've never been in a sensory deprivation tank. So I'm not sure. I have heard that though. So it's definitely possible. I don't know, who has tried that or where we could find out that information, but I have heard that before. You have your tiny fairy and then your huge fairy. That's true, Brad. Hi, Brad. Good to see you. I have a song I sing when the internet freezes. It goes, Jen's internet or my internet? Jen's internet or my internet? Jen's internet. We'll soon find out, right? Not the connecting damn phone. I know. It's terrible. So, and Brad's right. Even though, I'm sorry, Brad. I know you're a fairy, but I don't think you're a FAE fairy. But you could be. Because FAE can be all kinds of different sizes. There's, a lot of, that's kind of a misnomer. That's one of the little wives' tales, is that FAE are only these little creatures. There are some that are little, and there are some that are very big, for sure. And a whole bunch of things in between. I'm trying to find, and I outlined a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, Ide McCoy, who just died the day before Ostara, she has a great book out about the Fae called The Witch's Guide to Fairy Folk. Love this book. It is a good book on kind of a lot about the Fae. I full on welcome them. Yes. Yep. I love this book. It talks about the different cultures and kind of gives you some ideas of how to see the Fae better. Fae are more high vibration, but unlike some people believe, this is no way. Nope. This in no way means they are all good. Oh, definitely not. Okay. So that's the other thing. Let's start on that. Fae, I will tell you that from my experience, Fae really could care less about humans, except what they can get from us and how we can help them. So my experience has been, for the most part, that Fae will help you if you are helping them somehow. They will be very mischievous and annoying, and sometimes can be really not so wonderful if you are doing things that they really don't like. Now, I don't know how to say this. It's not really hard to piss them off, but you will figure out pretty quickly what pisses them off. Yes, exactly. Tip for tat. Exactly. What to avoid doing. Exactly. Okay, so I'll tell you. The first thing is, yes, that it's very easy to tick them off. Do not do major work without consulting with them first. You may get pinned down in the middle of the night. Okay, and I have heard that too. I have heard, first of all, iron. They do not like iron. So I try to do things like leave my cast iron cauldron outside when I'm not using it. They're not crazy about that. In fact, I have had things like this horrid smell. I don't know if they had a raccoon come piss on it or something, but I have had a horrid smell if I had left it out overnight and stuff before. Bring your cast iron cauldrons back inside the house. That's the first thing. So if you're going to make fairy gardens and stuff like that, they love them. Lots of bright stuff, shiny stuff. Just make sure there isn't any iron in it. I'm afraid to do anything with war water. I don't want to rile them up. Yeah, I don't even make war water anymore. I used to a long time ago. But you're right, they don't like that. I piss people off easily without even remotely trying, so working with Fae would probably be a nightmare for me. I'll tell you, it is educational to work with them, though. And I have a really good time with the Fae, and I have a relationship with them most of the time that I shouldn't say this, because then I'm going to piss them off, and then they will be mad at me. But I think I've learned about the Fae that are in my area at least enough that I know what to leave out for them. I know what not to do. So that normally I can get them to not do horrible things to me. Now, and even so, and I will tell you, and even so, I have stuff missing sometimes. Because there is nothing you can do about that. If you leave them gifts and offerings, they like that. I'm not going to say they don't. They do. I do not leave them gifts all the time, though. Don't do that, because then they expect that. And then when you don't leave them something, they get really pissed off. So I leave them offerings for special days, May Day, Beltane. For our holidays, during the light half of the year, I leave them gifts. Usually honey, cream. I have found that they like shiny things, sparkly things, that kind of thing. I made a little disco ball thing. Yep. Something sweet. Yes, they like sweet. However, again, if they want something of yours, they will take it. And sometimes it has nothing to do with, like, don't feel bad because, oh my gosh, I cannot find this stone. They take my stones constantly, and I call it a walkabout. I've had one, I have a scully missing, and it's kind of ticking me off, but I'm trying to be like, okay, I know I'll find it eventually. My rhodochrosite skull, which is a really expensive, pretty stone, has been gone for, I think, like close to a year now. And I know it'll show back up, but I'm like, okay, guys, they took the hooker deck. I know, exactly, right? I leave things on a hollowed rock in my garden. Yep, yellow marbles. They take your yellow marbles. It's just weird, and it's weird things like they'll do this all the time. They, pyrite. I have a hard time keeping pyrite cubes. You know, you get the really cool little pyrite cubes. They love those. I probably have had 10 to 15 of them, and I can only keep about 3 at a time because they suddenly will disappear from my cabinet. I keep them in my cabinet, and they disappear from my cabinet because they really like them. Might come back with a secret. Yes, I know he might. And so I will be very happy if he does. And that's why I'm just like, whatever. I know it'll come back eventually. Lately, I've seen little orbs of light zoom really fast past me, and I haven't been able to find my clear quartz since. Yep. Hi, Kelsey. So, yes, you can leave them offerings on special days. Just don't make a habit of leaving them offerings because, like I said, then they expect that, and you have to keep that up all the time, or else then they will get mad at you and start stealing crap. Hi, Michelle. So iron is a no. Gifts and stuff is a yes. Just rare and sporadic, or like on Sabbats. I do leave them offerings on the Sabbats. Understand that there are many, many different types of FAE. That's okay, no big deal. And different kinds of FAE like different things. Gnomes. I have a couple fairy gardens, and I have a couple gnome gardens. My husband, Peter, really works with the gnomes a lot more. Even though he doesn't really believe in them, it cracks me up because it's like he intuitively knows how to deal with them or something. Gnomes like more nature-based stuff. Like river rocks that are really smooth. Or, red lava stone. We got red lava stone for landscaping once, and the gnomes love that. There's something about the texture and the energy of the fire and stuff with their earth stuff. Yep, they will for sure. They will take things too. Usually the gnomes will take stuff that came from nature, and you are trying to make it a part of your landscape or something. Like, yeah, no. I'm trying to think. I I have tried to have a like a little fountain thing for hummingbirds because I really love hummingbirds, and I've seen one in my entire life now. One ever in my, I don't know what it is. There's something about me and hummingbirds. But so we have summers in a row. We have made these little fountain things from an old baking sheet, and we put stuff in it and all that kind of stuff. And have put these really pretty rocks that I found like in it, and then I mixed it with glass, you know, the little glass rocks that are like blue and red and stuff. So I put some of them in it, and then the gnomes were really pissed at me, and they knocked over the thing with the fountain in it. We had like placed all these rocks that we found natural rocks around it, so it came up and trickled down the rocks, and they were really ticked that we were using them in this fountain that wasn't really nature-based stuff. So they would knock it down like every single day. Okay. Everybody's saying, I know. I made the face before it went. I was making the face for the gnomes, and then I realized that it was stuck there. So I have 3 gnomes on my bedside table. I don't know what it is about them. So again, every kind of fae likes different things. I have a little gnome with a cart and put those glass stones in it. Oh yeah, well there you go. That's why then, Silver. They don't want those little glass things in it. They want something natural. So if you find pretty rocks like around your yard or in the river or something like that and put them in there, that will probably do better because they won't knock them over. Okay, different kinds of fae. Let me find. Let's see, is it this one? One of my books has really good pictures of a bunch of the different kinds. Nope. Actually, I think in here it has. Okay, let's see. There are so many different kinds. So understand that I'm not going to be able to tell you every different kind because there's kinds that I don't even know about still because there's so many different. 619. Okay. Abattoir. Yeah, there's no picture there. 19. Okay. They don't list them. Gosh, this is annoying. Hold on. There's not pictures in this one. Hold on. I've got way too many books, guys. Too many. Oh, I will tell you, this is a good one, too. Amber Wolf has a book called Elemental Power, Celtic Fairycraft, and Druidic Magic. This is a really good one, too. Did you check out the videos I posted? I have not yet, Angela. Now I have it up, the link on another tab, so I will check it out afterwards. But this one does not have pictures either. Hang on. One of my books here has really, really good pictures. Fairy Spells. That's a good one. That one's by Claire Namad. Cassandra Eason has a good one. The Complete Guide of Fairies and Magical Beings. Again, I don't think hers has many pictures either. Field Guide to Demons, Fairies, Fallen Angels, and Other Subversive Spirits. That's a good one for the dark fae. If you want to get an idea of, what kind of dark fae are out there, that's a really good one. That actually talks about the different kinds of dark fae. This one. Fairy's Guide to Green Magic from the Garden. That's a good one. Fairy Bible divides the Fae by element type. Oh, that's a good one. All right. What did I not get? The one book that shows the pictures of them really good. Yep. I literally have 21 books up here, guys. Do you think I grabbed the one with dark fairy here that has good pictures? Now I grabbed a couple that, you know, are mostly fictional stuff, but have pretty pictures in it. But I don't know if they're going to, yeah, show the different kinds. They are not. This book, I've never even looked at this book yet. I just got it recently at like thrifting. And it's a cute little, but it's, I'm guessing it's mostly fictional stuff. But it could have some good information in there too. It is super cute. So I'll have to look through that one and see if there's actually decent information in there. Tales of Grateful and Helpful Fairies. That's a good one. It's really a good idea to learn the differences between them. I have nature spirits and fae in my garden. Awesome. And I don't know how to say this. I believe that they are, I kind of lump them all together. The fae, gnomes, nature spirits, sylph, she. How do you know if you have them around? Okay, so that's a good question. How do you know if you have them around? Lots of different things. First of all, have you ever heard of a fairy ring? That is a way to know that there's one fairly close. And that would be, I have them all over my yard. Fairy rings have, they are usually, they could be mushrooms or fungus, and they form a complete and perfect circle in the middle of your yard, out in the woods, all that kind of stuff. Austin has a live video posted. Awesome. I will try to check it out, guys. I promise. I'm trying to catch up. I have a day tomorrow. I have to be at the main office, but then I am back at my office, and it was a busy day today. Mondays are busy. You will see things called fairy windows. Who posted? Someone just posted that they live somewhere. They live out in the woods. I can't remember who it was. They live out in the woods, and they posted these great pictures. And they had pictures of all kinds of stuff. And I thought, oh, see, now there's a fairy definitely lives in there. A fairy definitely lives there. And one of them was, there was a log, and it had, it looked almost like a cutout. Yes, most fairy books are fluff. That's true. You have to go to literally the pagan section or the Celtic section to get, you know, books that are actually have real information in there. Or go back further. There's lots of books that are like from the 1800s that have decent information in there. But they're called fairy windows, and they, Justin will be going on live right after me. Perfect. Yeah. And so usually they're in logs, and they almost look like a carved out window. Usually they're kind of in an oval shape. And the fae like them because they can hide fairly easily, but they can see out, and that you can only see them if they want you to. So usually they want someplace that they are able to hide if they need to, that they can see a whole lot, but you can't necessarily see them. So you'll see if you, I got a you humans and your categorizing everything, or some derivative of that, right? I took a 3-hour nap. Yay! I live near the Appalachian Mountains, and the Scotch-Irish brought many magical beings with them. Awesome. Are you the one, Heather, that posted those pictures? I'm trying to remember who posted them, and I can't remember now. But they were gorgeous pictures, and you could tell there was FAE all over the place. What else? Usually if there's a creek nearby, a lot of times they like a water source. You can invite them to come if you keep butterflies around, hummingbirds around. So if you plant things that attract the butterflies. So milkweeds, I have lots of milkweeds in my yard. Thistle. So a lot of things that are considered weeds, you know. What else? The butterfly flowers. You know what I mean? Yep, I have many gifts in the garden for them. Perfect. I usually do a couple different fairy gardens by big trees. I have 2 huge maple trees that I call grandfather maple tree and grandmother maple tree. And in the middle is a circle of ivy and stuff. And I have stuff in there that people can't see. But for the FAE specifically. And that's where I leave out my FAE offerings so that they can get it without people seeing them. They like that. The FAE are mad. My mom is pulling our dog fennel weeds. They keep taking her stuff. Oh, yes, they will get mad at you. Yes, they would. Is the woodpecker still pecking your tree? He has not been back in a couple weeks, but it's just starting to warm up again. So I thought, we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye out. I keep waiting to see him, but I haven't seen him yet. You would love to see the draft horses. Oh, I know. I know. Austin is a natural with the horses. Love to see a video of your yard sometime. You will, I promise. It's right now, it looks like hell because, you know, we're just starting to get into spring. So we have a lot of work to do, especially to get it ready for taro stock here coming up. But we've been kind of figuring out what to do and how to do it and planning again. Side note, the local high school has an ongoing project collecting milkweed pods to replant them in different places for the butterflies. That's awesome. That is awesome. Jen, I live in an apartment and don't have access to a yard. Is it safe to do a FAE garden inside? Yes, absolutely. Now, here's the thing. I would do the fairy garden. And if you can, put it someplace that is out of the way at night. So when they want to play with the stuff, they don't have to do it out in the open. Like I put mine kind of in the corner under the coffee table at night. So because they don't want cats to fuck with them. They don't want to be caught outside in the open. So they don't want to have to come out in the middle of your living room or anything to mess with the stuff that you left. They want to be able to like dash in and out on it. I saw a zebra swallowtail butterfly yesterday in the garden. That's awesome. Oh, I bet that was gorgeous. We used to have wicked milk pod fights as kids. I know it, right? I love my pods. I keep them. I have a big jar of them because I keep them for wishes and different spells and that kind of thing. There are certain fairies that tend to dwell only inside or mostly inside. Yep. Sometimes you can make an altar for them to attract them. Absolutely. Just realized I forgot about taro stock. Freaked out, then remembered I wasn't going. Sound like me. Oh my God, taro stock. Oh wait, I'm not going. Yay. Maybe she could cover it with a silk scarf. Yes, yep, you can do that. But again, try to have it at least on the outside of the room, like against a wall or something, because they don't like to dash out in the middle. Especially if you have animals, cats and dogs and stuff, they are like, they consider it an insult. They're kind of like, yeah, really? You think I'm going to go out there now? Knowing that your cat is out there looking at me? I can't remember the name, but each house has its own fae. If you keep them happy, they keep pots from boiling over, pets safe, and help keep things tidy. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are specific spells. I will, because Beltane is coming, I will we'll kind of make this a little bit of a series, and maybe what I'll do is we'll pick one or two different kinds of fae to talk about. Once a week until Beltane gets here. So that way we can get to know, a couple of the different kinds. I know Ange was talking about a bunch of them too. There's some that are really dark and evil. Brownies, hobgoblins, yep, that will help around your house. Absolutely. There's the one WB Yeats used to talk about the leprechauns, or the shoe cobblers, I think he called them. And if you left them certain things, they would fix your shoes at night and stuff. Sprites, yep. There are so many different kinds. So many different kinds. And each kind has things that they like and things that they dislike. So like I said, it would be way too hard to sit here and say, okay, if you don't want to piss any fae off, this is all you have to do. Because they get offended really easily. But you will know it. If you offended them, you will know it. They will let you know. They will steal your crap. They will knock shit over. They will make stuff disappear. They will... I made it. Hi, Kay. A friend was visiting in my head. I'm going, go home. I need to check in with my Witchy Dare Hoodoo Wagon family. Yay, right? Hello, do you see what time it is? That's number 3. So the question before I left from Calvin, have I ever witnessed a demon manifest in a physical object? Depends on what you mean by physical object. And I don't purposely summon dark spirits. That's just stupid. Anyways, I love butterflies. I opened a circle and was meditating, had something fluttering in my ear. I went back out the next day and a moth was on my water bowl that I was charging by the moon. Awesome. Breathe mine out. Now, Jen, why in the hell would I want anything that moody in my house? I have 4 cats and a dog. They are. Now, it's true. Absolutely. That is true. However, they are good luck. They will, I don't know how to say this. They will bring you knowledge of nature things that you wouldn't otherwise know. I'm trying to think of, I'll have an example for you next time. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was. There was something about my personal magic that I did not realize until I started working with the Fae. And, I can't for the life of me remember. Partly because I'm really tired and partly because Mercury is still here. Landed on me and would not get off. Awesome. Buffering. I know. Buffering. Just any random object, like maybe a Shrimkov doll complying with the ancient arts of voodoo. I'll be honest with you. I do not deal with dark spirits on purpose. I would not summon a dark spirit. If I did start to engage with a darker, like a malevolent kind of spirit, then I would cut it off. So no, I have never allowed that. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. I have never allowed that kind of contact, because as soon as I realize that there's a malevolent something, I just cut it off. I don't allow that energy to continue to use me as a conduit. Because it's not my thing. And some people do it, and that's okay. And, if you do, no problem. If it works for you, it works. More power to you. I'm not interested in the malevolent of the world. There's enough of that. It appeared from an article on the internet and did protection. all over the altar, caught on fire. Oh, there you go. Jen, I will call you after this. Yeah, that's fine. Jen, if you live in a city area and a lot of concrete, yes, absolutely. Because don't forget that they're not bound by our space and time. So you could live on the 30th floor and there are fae that would be up there because in their world it's a big hill or, you know, there's other, when I talk about, I know we've talked about when you cross over that time doesn't mean anything. As far as I'm concerned, what I have learned and garnered from those who have crossed over is that time doesn't mean anything. They can jump time, they can skip time, they can go back in time, they can go forward in time. The same thing for dimensions. There, because of that veil, I feel like there is a veil and they are on the other side of that veil. So their landscape and their dimensions and that kind of thing are different than ours, but in the same general area. And it kind of gets into, it's kind of a confusing subject because it gets into like the space time continuum kind of thing. Yes. More as a gateway. Yep. I can see that. I use sigils to stop that dark stuff. Yep. There you go. And partly because the Fae don't want you to tell us. Exactly. That's so true, Ange. I didn't think of that. I know. I should have, you know, if you ever get information from the Fae, try to write it down because they will make it so you don't remember it because they don't want to tell other people. They have no interest in helping humans unless you help them. Like I said, they are selfish. They are selfish little creatures, big creatures. They're selfish little shits. They are out for their own good. And they could really care less about us, you know, unless they feel like we can give them something that they want or need. Come to the dark side. We have cookies. Yes, exactly what I was thinking. If you let this dark energy take possession of an object or person, yes, absolutely, Calvin, yes. So don't do that. Don't allow that. Not a good idea. Like a dual reality, yes, exactly. Because if you believe in multiple dimensions and multiple realities, then, you know, my being, my entity in some other is doing something different. So it's kind of the same thing. I am more behind the mirror oriented guardians or something I prefer over Fae, and that's okay. Absolutely. I left a good friend in charge of my house and cat when I was away. She heard whoosses and saw shadows that disappeared as quickly. Light bulbs. There you go. Yep. You'll have to let us know how many things go missing after this live. I know, Ange. I have to say, there is kind of a little, like you can almost feel them watching me tell you about them because you know that they're like, you better shut the fuck up right now. They do not like their secrets to be told. They do not want you to talk about them a whole lot. They are not ones that want fame on this side of the realm. They feel like we're idiots. So, you know, they have no interest in making it easy on us. Yes, I am too. I know. I totally, at this point, feel them around like, okay, wrap it up. Like Finholm in Scotland. Yes, absolutely. Fae are like alien jinn, but nicer, right? Not always nicer, though. There are like murderous little fae, too. They are more rare. Stop talking about us. Exactly. They really, I'm sure. Here I am. I'm thinking too, maybe I should just leave some honey out and stuff because they're going to be annoyed with me anyways. And I haven't finished their fairy garden this year yet. And I know they're watching my progress and they're like, okay, we're waiting. Okay, Shauna, I love you too, sweetheart. Well, some gym will cause soul loss. They don't really try to do that. Oh, not soul loss, no, but life loss. There are fae who Well, as Ange said, there's fae that will murder you and bathe in your blood. And yeah, there are. Allows witches to be more respectful of them. Exactly. And hopefully I can get them to realize that it's a mutual beneficial win-win for both of us, because they will incur that more people know about how to keep them happy, and they will hopefully allow me to keep talking about them. Red caps, don't mess with them. Yes, they dye their caps with your blood after they murder you. Exactly. Appease the fae, please. I read that fae are green witches that got thrown out of cities and towns ages ago that now live as edge witches. Ha! I have not read that. I have not read that at all. Hi, William. You missed a whole discussion about fae. So, how would you be able to tell which one you're dealing with? Very carefully. Good question. Because they don't make it easy. They don't want you to know who they are. They don't want you to be able to figure them out. It is not like they will come right out. Yes, I know they are, Mickey. I know. They will not come right out and be like, yes, William is a mod. I know. They will not come right out and be like, oh, this is what kind I am, and this is how you can keep me happy. They definitely will not. They really would rather you just treat them all with as much respect as possible, and like give them lots of presents, and they don't want you to know as little as possible about them before they destroy her house while she sleeps, right? The good thing is that the fae energy that I have around me is mischievous, and they're pains in the butt sometimes, but I do not have malevolent fae as of yet that I know of. I have not felt that energy around, but they are, they are fun. Out of the book jumble first, right? I was saying, okay, I have 21 different books about the fae, or about something that has to do with the fae. Oh, wait, they are calling in those as we speak, right? Yes. Why don't we say this? Fae innate powers traveling for a witch. A lot of magic can be done with a creature or object from another realm. They don't like to be overchanneled. Exactly, for sure. Can you list them? No. There are just too many. But I will say that I will start making a list, and we will go over like 2 or 3 a week, or an episode, like maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Wednesday, if I feel like, because I do have half a day Wednesday, maybe I'll try to put up a video on Wednesday about the first couple. We'll do 2 or 3 every episode that we do about fae until Beltane. And so we'll get to know them underneath the list of the books. Oh, yes. Oh, the books. Yes, I can list the books for sure. Absolutely. If you are truly interested in working with the fae, I will tell you, first of all, folklore. The folklore books are really great. W.B. Yeats, I cannot tell you enough. Half of his poetry is about fairy. And he has fairly accurate information about, yes, we are. Thank you. I've brought it with me 100 times, and I haven't had a chance to do another episode of The Alchemist. But yes, we are. I almost did one today, and then I had 2 walk-ins come in when I thought I had an hour to spare to record a couple more. But what is it? Thursday, definitely I have more time. Thursday and Wednesday, I should be able to put up a couple episodes. Tomorrow I'm at the main office, so it's just not going to happen tomorrow. But by Wednesday night, I'll put up a couple more at least. And I really want to try to finish it because we have so much to talk about. All right, so don't forget, Justin is going live after me. I've been on for an hour. I'm so tired tonight. I hate Mondays. Mondays suck because Mondays are always really busy. You got married at Beltane? Yay. Oh, yes. Oh, and because Hexen finally said something, I'm allowed to say something now. So tarot stock, if you don't know what tarot stock is, it is at my house. It's going to be a great, great week. We're going to have classes. We're going to do stuff like go to the flea market and learn how to witchy thrift at a flea market. We're going to go to the thrift stores that are around here. I'm going to do some Reiki classes. I'm going to do all kinds of stuff. One of the things that we're doing, though, and you know what? Is Maddie and Dave still in here? Or is Maddie still in here? Because I didn't ask him at all. But Hexen, Josh asked Hexen to marry him, so they are engaged. I'm so excited. And they have asked me to do their hand fasting for them at Tarot Stock. I live in Rochester, New York, which is kind of western central New York. It's between Buffalo and Syracuse. So I'm going to be doing the hand fasting for them. I'm so excited. They're so sweet. I love my little Hexen. And I'm going to be doing like a hand fasting rededication for Maddie and Dave too, because they have never been hand fasted before. They got married, but they were not hand fasted. So I'm going to do that too. I'm so excited. Social Security number, if you don't mind. Isn't that sweet? I know it is far from Georgia, but we have people driving from Florida, I think. Hi, Wendy. I lit a special candle for you and Scott today, honey. Yes, I will try to. Absolutely. It'll be up to them, of course, if they want me to, release stuff. I'll let them release it, but if they want to, maybe you should do a live for their hand fasting. That's true. I will find out if they will let me do that. But I'm sure, knowing them, I'm sure that they will allow that. So I just was really honored that they both wanted me to do that. I think that was great. So that is going to be fun. I'm starting to put together some information to decide what kind of hand fasting they want done. Your magic feels so rooted in a goddess. Work your own magic, but evoke by choice. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Coming up on 17 years married. Congratulations. That's awesome. Me and my hubby want to be hand fasted. Absolutely. And I think that hand fasting was a great tradition. I really do. There's so much symbology in it then. Yes. Yes, I was ordained. Absolutely. Yep. I still have it. I meant to get my New York State. I mean, I am, but you have to, in order to do it legally through the town hall and stuff, you have to get your tax ID thing, all that stuff. I meant to do that when my taxes came, because of course you have to pay for that, which I will do. I think this weekend, that's one of the things, guys. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be on this weekend, because finally my Reiki Mastery classes are this weekend, Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So I will be on, but it might not be like an in-depth kind of thing that we normally do. I pissed off my FAE too. My sparkly watercolors were just right here, and now they are nowhere in sight. Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. So once my Reiki Mastery is done, I thought I might try to have a class, teach a class before that, so I could make enough money to at least get my tax ID number and all that stuff. So my ordination is, all legalized from New York State, because New York State just wants their money. All the rest of the stuff is all done. I just have to pay them their money for it. And then I'll be fine with that. But I have done I've done hand fastings before. I've done pagan funerals before. And yes, now my nose is starting to itch again. Thank you, Faye. I wish you all could go. I really do. We are going to have so much fun. I still have not talked to my shaman. I meant to get a hold of him a couple times, but I almost feel like I'm not supposed to because we have so much planned already that I feel like it might be too much. But I was going to try to have him come and everyone could build their own drum, which is what I did last year. And it's wonderful. It's a experience, but I almost feel like we've got so much to do already. We'll see. But anyways, okay. So Justin's going to go on. That's okay. After me. So give him a look-see. I'm so pleased the Hexen has asked you to officiate. I know, I do. I feel so honored. Maybe after this one, we can figure out fundraising for scholarships. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea, Wendy. I like that idea. Kind of put it into like a GoFundMe account or something, and we'll have scholarships or something. That's a really good idea. I like that. We'll have to talk about how logistically how to do it. I'm sensing some worry from you, like for a kid or animal you love. I could be wrong, but it seems like it. Well, I have 4 boys, so there's always worry for children. Actually, in May, a bunch of my kids are moving. My who will be 20 in May, he's moving closer to home because he wants to go to college in New York, so that's good. My 25-year-old is moving to Colorado, and he's my son that I always worry about. And I really don't know what the heck he's going to do, but him and his girlfriend are moving to Colorado. And my oldest son is just moving into a smaller apartment where he is in Boston, or close to Boston, because that's where he works through intelligence for the Navy. So I'm always worried about them. Never ends. As a mother, does it ever end? All right. I'll be doing an open talk. All right, Justin. Sounds good. Good. Hi, Lana B. I'm sorry I'm finishing. Colorado's the best. Really? Good. I want to go to Colorado for different reasons than he does. He, of course, wants to go to Colorado because everything is legal. I think. That's my impression anyways. I know they're growing up, or at least their ages are getting to be bigger numbers. I don't know if they're growing up, but all right, guys, I love you. And tomorrow will be Tarot Talk tomorrow. I will try to remember to post tonight some different options. Okay. Love you guys.